Bias tape or bias binding is a narrow strip of fabric cut on the bias. It can be used for garments such as bibs, aprons, tops, dresses. I did a video on how to stitch bias tape straps to a spaghetti strap top. You can watch that video. It's in the description down below or in the cards up top. And now I want to show you how to actually cut the bias tapes. If you pull on the fabric horizontally or vertically, it doesn't stretch at all. However, if you fold it in half on the diagonal, you'd realize that it does stretch, just like in this one. So we're going to start with this piece and we are going to fold it along the diagonal line. We are going to actually use our scissors, cut down that fold, and we're going to take one side of the fabric. We're going to fold it in half along the line that we just made, along that diagonal, and then we'll take a ruler and we will draw out lines that are 1.5 inches wide, going all the way along until you have as many bias strips as you think you need. You're going to put some pins into your fabric to stabilize and cut along all the lines that you just drew. When we undo the pins, we have 3 nice long stretchy pieces of bias tape. To make it out of this African print, this is already cut on the bias. As you can see, the pattern is diagonal. So we're gonna place this strip on it to get an exact replica, pin and cut. So this can be done with Dacron and cotton, this can be done with satin, this can be done with African print fabric, any fabric that does not stretch. So we're gonna do the same thing once more with another piece of African print. However, this piece is quite small and already has been cut out of a few times. So we'll basically just place this again diagonally. You can use the pattern as a guideline to how to place it diagonally. You can always do it freehand as opposed to folding. And now we have 3 separate pieces of bias tape out of fabrics that do not stretch originally. So now I'm going to show you how to connect these pieces of bias tape. So if you want one long continuous bias tape, create a right angle with both strips and you're going to draw a line that is diagonal right there. So you're going to draw that line. You don't have to draw the line, but it's just a good guideline. And then you will pin for stability. Once you pin for stability, you're going to take it to the sewing machine and you're going to stitch along that line that you just drew. Be sure to use the relevant color fabric, relevant color thread. If you want a video on how to thread your sewing machine, leave a comment down below. So we're going to stitch along that line. The stitch length really doesn't matter. It's based on whatever you want to work with. Once that's done, you're going to cut the threads. You're going to trim up all the excess fabric and voila, you have turned 2 bias strips into one long continuous one. So it stretches still and we're going to add it to this piece of fabric here. But the first thing that we want to do is to actually press this bias strip into a fold basically. So we're going to use our iron and we're going to put it on the lowest temperature because it's cotton, and you want to press out that seam that you just created so that it would lay flat, and then fold your bias tape in 2, press along the entire length of the bias tape, and then you're going to open it out and fold each side towards the crease that's in the center, and then you're going to press along there, press along one side, and then you're going to press along the other side, fold inwards towards the crease and press. You're gonna do that all the way along, and once you're done with that, you should be able to fold your bias tape in half. You can press that or not, it's totally up to you, but the way that it's pre-packaged, it's actually not pressed into a fold here. So now we're going to add it to a strip of fabric. So you want to open the fold, and on one side you're going to line up the edge of the garment with the edge of the bias tape, and you are going to pin along that first fold there. That's just to stabilize, and then you're going to stitch. Make sure that you're stitching in line with the fold that's right there, and make sure that the edge of your bias tape is in line with the edge of your garment. So you remove the pins as you go along, of course, because you don't want to stitch your pins. Once that's done, this is how it should look. You're gonna fold it over, up and over onto itself, just like I'm doing here. So you're going to basically be hiding the raw edges, and you're going to pin along. Pin along there, pin all the way to the end. It should look like this, and then you're going to fold in to complete the bias tape and stitch along the very edge, along the very edge. I'm gonna show you what that looks like in a second. Oh, don't forget to subscribe if you're finding this video helpful. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on your notification bell for more videos on how to sew and all the basics. So this is what it should look like, and that's basically it, guys. That's the tutorial. Feel free to check out this video that shows you how to make a pattern for a spaghetti strap dress, this video that shows you how to actually make the spaghetti strap dress, and this video for how to sew bias tape straps. I will see you next week.